Africa had the misfortune of being colonized, and at some stage there was a conference on how to distribute Africa to different European nations who became the colonial masters. The reason why this happened was because the Europeans were looking for markets, and they felt that if they came into Africa, then they would be able to expand their businesses in Africa. This came at a time when already Africa had been dehumanized through slave trade. Many slaves were taken from many parts of Africa, and they went to different parts of the world. And if you go around the world today, you're going to find Africans literally everywhere. Because of the color of their skin, you will definitely identify them. And the biggest number possibly went into the Americans, some in South America, and a number of them in North America. The United States of America, having emerged as the biggest economy in the world, with a substantial number of black Africans, became the hotspot for the struggle of Africans wanting to gain independence. And indeed, a number of former slaves were sent back to Africa, creating the country today we call Liberia. But in the 1920s and 30s, a number of African Americans in the United States came up to start talking about Pan-Africanism. They thought that Pan-Africanism would be the way in which Africans would evolve. Not only Africans in the United States, but Africans on the continent. They realized that in the United States, while Europeans had got land for development, Africans who had been freed as slaves didn't get the land. They realized that some Africans had been sent back to Africa, creating the state of Liberia, but they didn't have resources. So in their view, if Africans came together, then they could be able to talk about their development together, and they would be in a position to develop Africa. And even in the United States, the Africans could be able to gain some resources if they came together as Africans. This gave rise to the movement of Pan-Africanism. But it being away from Africa, it didn't work out very well. Now, the African countries started getting independence in the 1950s, and the first country to gain independence was Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah, the Ghanaian leader, actually wanted to delay Ghanaians' independence, requesting that all African countries should be independent. Of course, this was not possible because the agenda of the colonial governments were different. Even those who were colonized by Britain, the Anglophones, Britain could not allow them to come together and get independence together. Nonetheless, the Pan-African movement started with the Nkrumahs. And a large number of those who struggled for independence in Africa thought that the best way in which Africa would develop was through coming together as a group of people, identifying their common interests and identifying strategies that would enable them to solve Africa's problems.